Zero's here. Finally. Now we could do the thing we set out to do in the first place this week on the Hapless Heroes.
Pragnar gets uncomfortably close to Felix.
Hello and welcome back to the Hapless Heroes podcast. My name is Dave and I will be your host and dungeon master for this evening. I'm going to start our evening the same as I start all of them because I don't have to be big on creativity here. Just stick to the formula. We're going to start this formula to my right with Francesco as Felix Fizzlebottom.
It's time for a new plan.
To his right, we have James as Hoblet the Smasher.
Good evening, friendos.
To his right, we have John as Lord Jarrell the Light.
Zero, did you bring treats for the rest of us?
To his right, we have Mike as Lord and Captain Quinn Southwind.
Past, present, or future, it is still at my service.
Oh my God.
To his right, we have Nicole as Boris the Butcher.
Hey, I'm starting to believe this was the right portal.
To her right, we have Phil as Hedrick the Entertainer.
Reunited, and it feels so good.
And to his right, we have Zach as Pregnart.
Yum, yum. I like ice cream. Yum, yum. I like it so much. Yum, yum.
So as we left off, the party, through many trials and adventures, have made their way to the Forge of Moradin, finding out that this forge is both past and future from this place of creation. They found portals that extend both into the strange and the ideal, the past and the future, and eventually through many portals and some trial and error and a couple of scary moments and some funny ones, they opened the portal to the ideal present, from whence everything just went right into the reinforcements they were seeking, and Zero in all his glory just stride forth through the portal like some sort of Deus Ex Machina, because you can actually create that from a portal to an ideal present. And so now stands before you, an even more spiffy than before, Omega Project Prototype Zero, Valon's Avatar of War.
Does he have upgrades or something?
I mean, I remember you described him as looking a little different, right? But this is still you had also described where we had seen where his face has sort of been damaged or altered from the blasting of that portal there, or that energy that sent us to Legredex to begin with, right?
Yeah,
so
it pretty much stripped all the wood right off his frame. So now he's got new, slightly darker, even more polished and shiny wood.
Okay, but this is our Zero. This is not some alternate dimension Zero. This is 0-0.
As far as you know, this is 0-0.
Okay, I'm gonna look at it and be like, it is beyond a relief to see you now, buddy. And all of the reinforcements. How the fuck do they even fit in this room? What kind of legion are we looking at?
They're they're going out of the portal, kind of going around opposite sides and just back out the door.
They're just moving now. They know exactly where to go.
Single file, they're going where they're needed.
Okay, I was gonna say because they're not all gonna fit in here.
They have literally been waiting for us forever.
If only we could get
portals.
If only we could get Pregnart to just take this portal and get it to turn around so that they don't have to walk out and then around to the back of the portal to go out the door.
No. Useless use of a 5th level
for
spell
convenience.
slot.
I don't think so.
I'm just that's the wrong direction. Anyways. Zero, we need your help. I'm assuming just based on the Legion of Angels you're walking in with, you know exactly what's going on here. or if you don't, let me know. I'll fill you.
I was going to ask, have I missed anything?
No.
If I was to say, if we could, Felix will give him his version of the events that transpired since we last saw Zero.
Okay. In which way is that biased, colored, and/or influenced?
Well, in the same ways that you've heard me going on about.
Yeah.
What
Just wondering where the points of emphasis are.
The points of emphasis are on how, through some trials and tribulations, we finally got to where we needed to go. I also warned him that if he were to encounter, Baronar Truesilver, that there's some things that he's got to be aware of.
Yeah. When you mention her name, Zero's eyes go red. And in a, level and calm voice, but not entirely his. I'll handle that issue when we get there. And then his eyes just go right back to the normal Zero eyes.
Cool. Take
Gray,
that as
I
red.
believe they were.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, immediate concern is obviously there's about to be a gigantic battle here, and we need all the help we can get. I suppose we should probably actually follow this Legion of Angels. Like we needed to do. This is pretty, we could, hopefully we'll be able to, I don't know, I think we achieved our purpose here. I don't want to be fucking with time or portals any more than we need to. I say we go to where the action's going to be and try to see how we can help. I mean, this is Jarrell's quest after all. We should probably see it through. Any objections?
Jarrell is just marveling at the amazing army that's walking out of the portal and ready to go to battle.
They're just still going. It's been a good 5-10 minutes of, every second another one is coming out. They're just marching single file behind each other. And it's been 5-10 minutes of just a steady stream of troops pouring out of this portal. So eventually, after what's almost 15 minutes, the column just ends. They walk out, and the room is suddenly quieter, emptier than it was before. Zero is still standing there, so you'll have to bear with me. I am entirely Zero, but it's a little weird getting here, and I don't have the greatest of explanations of everything that's gone on, since it's a little difficult to explain. It doesn't really parse well.
That's okay.
We're simple.
So what have
folk.
I missed?
What have you missed? Well, like I said, I did fill in Zero, at least my side of the events. Up through Legredex.
Okay.
That we're not in Legredex now. We're in
but I meant that's kind of where that's where
Yeah.
the last time we saw him.
Zero has never encountered Felix with the third eye of Vecna, has he?
And the third eye of Vecna is gone now.
Yeah, so he would have never seen it to begin with to ask about it.
Would never.
I'm
have
sure
seen
you
it.
wouldn't mention it.
Nope, I did, and I also mentioned that the shards of it have been redistributed.
Yeah, that's probably for the best.
Out of curiosity, can we huck those into a strange timeline and just let those be away from here, or would that be a bad thing?
I feel like having them unaccounted for would be
a bad thing. Yep. Okay.
Prudent.
Just checking. Just really needs to figure out where to eat these things so that they don't ever come back again.
Yeah.
The bottom of your bag of holding.
No, listen. Unjeeves can only handle so much, and I really don't want to make that his problem.
Unjeeves, I forgot about it.
my
undead
my undead butler that works inside my bag of holding.
Oh my god, yeah.
The attendant, the thing that actually brings me the stuff from inside the bag of holding.
I wonder how Hans is doing.
I don't.
I hope he's okay.
I miss messing with
we
him.
also fill in Zero, obviously, about what happened to Hans, everything. Everything. I mean,
Okay.
the only details he wouldn't get from me are what happened before I reunited with our friends in Legredex. Right? Because
Fair
I
enough.
came in later.
Right.
Okay. So you'll have to bear with me. It's been a bit of a strange time, and the eyes go red a little bit, and it's a little bit early in the day to deal with the old ball and chain. And his eyes go back to normal. So here's what I'm going to do.
Multiple personality 0!
We're going to let you guys drive for a while. I am going to stay as unobtrusive as possible. And does anybody have an extra large cloak?
Yeah, I think I might have one. Hedrick will pull out the one that he snagged from Legredex. We entered into a classroom and he pulled like a hooded cloak off the wall.
Right.
That's perfect. But Zero,
Yes.
we may need you in the coming battle if you can at least, provide your avatar of war type things and benefits and boons.
I'll still be around to scrap when necessary. I just want to prefer not to answer any. Yes, I'd prefer not to answer any questions that aren't from the immediate company.
I understand. Okay. Well, I say we
Zero. Yeah, just sort of like puts the cloak on, pulls the hood like over the top of his head, and goes back to pretty much how he looked when the party was first going, when he was trying to remain inconspicuous as a Warforged.
I'm going to real quick just check in with Dr. Hines now that we've achieved our goal here. I'm just going to walk up to him and be like, hey, so there's some shit that's about to go down, which you may or may not already know about, which you may or may not have experienced in some different way, in some different timelines, somewhere, some when. So where do you want to be, dude? I feel like we kind of need you alive.
Okay, which one are we in?
Okay, we've gone over this, and I don't think there's any way I can make this any clearer for you because I have no point of reference.
It kind of narrows it down to about 6 and... Okay, yeah, it's better than Strange Present. Let's do it.
Okay, and just one sec, and I'm going to whisper, I'm going to lean in real close. Kind of like encourage him to kind of like lean down so I can kind of whisper in his ear.
And he does.
In case this doesn't work out in our favor. Just in case. For some reason, the forces of good here don't prevail. I have a backup plan, and I need your help. I'm going to like show him the clocks that I had taken from the room prior, right? The maintenance room where you had seen like all those like ticking clocks. Like I put them in my bag of holding to stop them from making noise. And I'm gonna lean into like, we have some liquid time.
No, you definitely don't have liquid time, and you definitely did not say that out loud in any timeline where anybody could hear you.
We definitely don't have whatever I just did not say.
Good.
But
how
as
much?
A backup, enough, hopefully. Whatever, I mean, pretty much as much as our crafty rogue friend. And I kind of like, it's like subtly nod my head towards where Boris is. If there's a way,
could go worse.
To and then I start whispering even a little quieter. And Dave, I had DM'd you some of these details, so I'm actually specifically trying not to reveal that because at some point I'm taking over as a DM, and in case the audience hasn't figured out where this is going yet, I'm setting up for another plot line.
Yeah, let's keep it as a background for a reveal. But yeah,
yeah, there's some more incomprehensible whispering happens with
sounding exactly like the stereotypical whispering you would hear on a show or in a cartoon.
Yeah, and I'm sure Dr. Hines goes through a flux of emotions, both from agreement to incredulity to, a bunch of things as Felix explains his plan. His backup plan.
All right. Yeah. The backup plan, he nods encouragingly. It has potential. I think we can do things with this. Let's hope we don't have to do anything with it. But we could.
Okay. Yeah, thanks. I hope we don't have to do this, but if we do, I hope I can count on you. So just keep yourself safe.
Well, it's that or the alternative.
Let's not even talk about the alternative.
Yeah.
All right, great. And then I'm going to go back to my group and start, if we're all shuffling out of here, right? Just follow along.
So while the group's all gathering outside, back in the maintenance room, I suppose Jarrell would try leading them back where we came from. We're going to have to go through Baronar Two Silver's quarters again, though, aren't we?
Yeah,
No.
The
The gate that we had to defend was here on this side. We had to traverse those quarters to get here ourselves.
We came through it before the gate.
We had to try to shortcut the reinforcements to here.
So we did that.
Gate.
Okay, so we're just going back to that gate then.
Mission
we can just
accomplished.
Go to the gate.
Yeah, we're good.
It's time to fight now.
Okay.
Good.
Jarrell is very excited for the fighting, and he will lead everyone back to the gate. Which, is it open yet?
The gate on this side, yes. The gates to the outside are now flung open, and these columns of angels have taken to flight and are flying, a good 30, 40 feet above the ground, because this hallway is at least 50 feet high, if not much higher than that. It's almost a little tough to tell. Especially what with all of these seraphim just blasted on down the hallway out to, Lady Valon only knows where. And the dwarves also charging out that way as quickly as their stubby little dwarf legs will take them, especially with, a good 100 pounds of ruck on each of their backs between weapons and spare armor and whatever other supplies and bivouacking they need. Just charging on out. None of it's even slowing them down. So they're all just trundling along out there. But it's a good little ways till you get to these gargantuan doors that open out from the mountainside. From what is this? East if you're facing out Arakanor.
Right, of this miles-long fortress, essentially.
Yes. The ultimate and final dwarven citadel.
Right. Well, because we wouldn't. I don't know if we know this as players, but I know, in traditional lore, Moradin had essentially built this as was supposed to be a home for all dwarven kind.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's big.
Jarrell will put on the helmet, which he was probably wearing it the whole time, and say, "Valon, we have succeeded in not only bringing your army to the gate, but bringing your Avatar of War here with us now. Do you want us to join you, or should we engage in battle?"
We battle enough for all. Make your way back here.
Wait,
Okay.
we didn't hear that. What
so
you say?
Did it not key properly?
No.
We
I
didn't
hear that in
read
my
the
head.
Right.
Oh,
This is an internal. This is just a private phone call, so to speak, right? What'd she say? Drell?
She would like us to bring her Avatar of War back to meet with her.
Wait. Can you ask her if we have to go back through Baronar's quarters? Because that's going to be a fun one.
Sure. Jarrell goes back into his helmet mode. Shall we sneak back through the Baronar's quarters, or is there a quicker way to you now?
I suppose you could just go from outside and just follow the wall. The lines of battle should be at least a few hundred yards away from the wall still. It seems to be more at a stalemate than a steady push towards, so you may very well have space to do it out here. And to be fair, do you really want to tempt fate twice?
Jaral just nods, says nothing to the group, and just goes, "We're off," and starts walking towards the battle. And so after a little bit, you realize that he's not walking directly into the battle, but he's following the wall of the city around to get the other way.
Felix is like walking and wondering to himself, why didn't we take this way to begin with?
Probably wasn't safe.
Well, yeah. With the,
with the lack of reinforcements,
several battalions of reinforcements, things were significantly hairier out here.
Okay, that's fair. But there's definitely sounds of battle and things like that, like in the distance.
Oh yeah, this is a capital B battle going on out here.
Like double the end of the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Boris is walking this path as if she is strangely familiar with it, like she may have already snuck this through and then taken a nap in the dwarves' quarters earlier.
Right.
Yeah, it's significantly
you got here before everybody else.
It is simultaneously both more and less peaceful than it was earlier, but significantly less hazardous to an individual traveler.
Okay. All right then. Wow. Well, hopefully we make it back then to Valon.
Yes.
How long does it take?
It takes some time. It's several miles. Like, this is the Battle of Pelennor Fields, except for stretched for about 5 times as long, just along this front, between these two doors, and continuing as far as the eye can see in either direction.
Whatever happened to just 10
nearly
dudes?
an infinite front. It's the problem of the heavens is you have to just escalate and escalate and escalate for it to meet anything in a divine conflict.
Well,
not to mention probably like the metaphysical forces at play and stuff too. Like, you know what I mean? Because like I remember Valon said she was like fighting off like almost like psychic intrusions by Vecna.
Yeah. The size of this battle, the composition of this battle, and the battle itself are as much metaphorical as they are an actual real battle. It is also symbolic of the struggle between Vecna and Valon themselves. And Valon just got a whole lot of help because things were not looking good.
The aerial combat look like? I know you had mentioned like angels and like winged things like before, but is that near the wall, or is it still pretty much further away?
It is. It's mostly further away, but there's a lot of angel traffic zooming overhead. And usually they're flying in 1s, 2s, and 5s. Just whoosh, like booking it where all you hear is just zoom, 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 overhead as they just go blasting by at full speed. Like they've got a move speed of like 180 or something like that.
Well,
they're really zipping around. But
cover.
Yeah, out there are significantly fewer angels than of enemy flyers, but the angels are, worth, 10 to each one of them. So the sky gets pretty significantly black out that way just with the amount of traffic. Oh, you guys do make your way back to the original gates from which you entered the fortress of Arachnor.
Is Dr. Hyde's following us? I forgot what
Yes, Dr. Hines is with the group. Okay, you return to the original hallway. It extends, relatively deep in, but it looks the same as the one that you were just in, further down, but more lived in, more well kept. There's torches along the walls, and all of them are lit, as opposed to, every few. It's not dusty or anything like that. A lot more comings and goings, but it's also It's very ordered in here. There are tables with like higher-ranking forces of angels and higher-ranking dwarves giving orders to other ones. There's a few of those big tables with maps rolled out along them, and a couple of daggers stuck into them for, dramatic effect at various points. Big red X's and circles, and squiggly lines denoting lines of combat and whatever else is going on. Valon herself is nowhere to be found currently, at least in this room.
So, is there anybody that I recognize? This is the same group that was in here before?
Like St. Cuthbert the Cudgel?
Right.
Oh, Cuthbert the Cudgel. It does smell sort of like lavender. I'm sure he's around here somewhere.
Oh, Quinn loves that.
Yum.
Jarrell will not pick out anyone in particular, but just kind of announce to the groom, I guess. I, Lord Jarrell the Light, have succeeded in bringing the Valon Avatar of War here to you. Now, please, someone tell me, where is Lady Valon?
The unnaturally attractive St. Cuthbert the Cudgel turns back to you from one of the tables that he was hunched over, plucks one of the daggers out of there, and twirls back to you on a heel in dramatic fashion, his long blonde hair kind of doing that whole cascadey slow motion thing behind him. A couple of, very anime-inspired sparkles in the air as he turns.
I'm still picturing the handsome Squidward.
Yep.
Yes. Well. Hello there. Yeah, we can definitely tell that you were successful in your quest. We certainly have quite a bit of reinforcements just start showing up pretty recently. I hear the dwarves are on their way too, although they're not quite as fleet of foot as our forces are of wing, are they?
Jarrell is just very proud of himself, kind of like puffing his chest out like, I did it.
Ah. Well, come now. Let's take you back to the war quarters of the Lady Valon.
Super excited.
Strides forward ahead of the party confidently, his chest just leading the way, like, ugh.
Oh, thank goodness we weren't waiting on Cuthbert.
Peridot, that's where we needed a bing for his wiener binging on his hammer.
No, it's
Going
his
to see
chest.
Valon.
It's his chest.
Pregnart is here. And I have a sound effect for a boner, definitely.
I hate
Sorry, your thing still says Peridot, I forget.
That's okay. But if you want him to ding, if it's a little boner ding you need, then I got you too.
That's what it sounds like hitting the metal cod piece.
Right.
I'm not sure how this makes me feel.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I just like saying the phrase
Snowy
little
bueno.
boner ding.
No.
Yeah, I enjoy that much more than whatever we were talking about earlier.
No.
Backwards
like it.
Craig.
No, I don't like it.
That's what happens afterwards.
That sounds like ED.
Yeah. That's the introduction to the refractory period.
Some gentlemen.
So, Fran, you ready to take this over? I mean, not right now, but this general energy is what you're about to inherit after this episode.
Dave just rage quit being a DM.
No.
No, not yet. We still got what?
You're trapped in here with me.
Oh, don't worry. I have a plan. And that's Fran saying that.
Yep.
I just realized that Plan and Fran rhyme.
Did you?
We have a Fran.
Aren't you an English teacher?
You do.
I have a
Yes,
whole
but like
here.
I don't know if we. Shut up.
It's a useful phrase as an English teacher.
Seriously.
Oh yeah, but I am definitely ready to herd these fucking cats
Yeah.
after this.
So, trailing in the impressive and lavender-scented wake of St. Cuthbert the Cudgel, he strides confidently forward, his great war hammer across his back. Just striding forward, leading you towards another room, towards the back of this hallway, slightly off to the right, down a set of stairs, and at the end, another round circular room with a dais, somewhat like the Forge of Moradin, but with no portals and no anvil and none of the other stuff. Lots of bookshelves along the wall, other tables off to the side with plenty of rolled up maps and stacks of paper. In the center, another one of those long tables with the maps rolled out upon it. The Lady Valon and a couple of high-ranking angels huddled around one end, mumbling about something. The doors to the room burst open as St. Cuthbert the Cudgel is the first of you to enter. Ho! I, St. Cuthbert the Cudgel, report glorious victory in the name of Lady Valon.
Stolen thunder?
Yep.
Yeah, he defeated the hallway on the way over.
That doesn't sound very honorable of St.
I was going to say, did he just call Lady Valon a hoe? Not appropriate, Dave.
That's where
I'm
we draw
still
the line.
in this seat. Careful the attempt. Rocks fall, everyone dies.
Ah, shit.
I was so close.
Lady Valon looks up at St. Cuthbert and with very cool eyes. It's enough, Cuthbert. I know what happened. Stop with the boastful talk. Get out of here. Go lead some battles or something. Jarrell, come here.
Jarrell has to refrain himself from skipping over it.
Amazing.
Yep.
He kneels in front of her, obviously.
On your feet. We don't really have time for formalities at the moment.
He hops
I
right
do
up.
apologize. And she gestures to a red squiggly line at the end of the map. One day. We were one day from all of this being over. Lord Jarrell, we owe you a debt we cannot repay. These reinforcements have bought us time. I don't know how much time. I know how little we had. Looks like the battle can fight to a standstill for a month, maybe more. It's enough time to buy us here, but things continue to look grim, if we're being perfectly honest.
What can we do to help?
That's the thing. I don't know. I'm out of ideas here.
That's not good.
We've got 2 battalions, but we're facing literally limitless forces of the undead. And for every one of ours they strike down, they're able to raise yet another troop. For every one of theirs we strike down, they're able to raise yet another troop. You see how the calculus of this doesn't really benefit us in the long term.
But the power that I guess was left by the other gods, they're all gone. There is no. What of the Raven Queen? What of any of the fates of any of the forces that could achieve sort of balance over all of this? Is there nothing? Has nothing been able to absorb the power? Has Vecna stolen all of it?
The Raven Queen remains unaccounted for, so either a third party has taken her powers or she retains in control of her own as a third party. Regardless, she's not part of the equation. The remaining powers have more or less split half and half. For every victory I'm able to claim, Vecna claims one of his own. We'll continue to fight at a stalemate for the foreseeable future. Lord Avatar, Zero, I'd know you anywhere. Come take a look at this. Yes, milady. And he confidently strides up to the table. What's your accurate assessment? You think, how long? With what we have, with what they have, with what they can do, how long? "26 days, 12 hours, and between 5 and 7 minutes, depending on a few variables." So, more or less what I expected.
Can we do no better?
That's what we can do in war, right? Yes, milady. That's what we can do with war. War won't be enough then. Valon turns to Jarrell. We will require justice. Do you have your sword?
Jarrell pulls the sword out, straight in the air, glowing, I'm sure, just as awesomely as it was before.
Sword of Joseph the Just. I see you've taken good care of it.
I have.
May I? Very good care indeed. No. For justice to be properly applied, I will need an avatar of justice as well as an avatar of war.
Pregnant raises his hand.
Neil, Jarrell of House Passer.
He's almost already kneeling by the time the full word gets out of her mouth.
But it's funny. It's also it's like going to church, right? Because he tried to kneel. Like, no, we don't have time for this. Okay, now kneel. It's like, wait a second.
No, up, kneel, up, kneel,
down, up, down,
kneel.
up, down.
Lady Valon looks at the camera. I'm a traditional divinity, after all.
Who are you looking
She taps the Holy Avenger on each of your shoulders. Rise, or shall I say, ascend, Lord Jarrell, Avatar of Justice.
Zach, could you do me the favor of another one of those dings?
Yeah.
Is this a little boner ding?
Yeah, it is.
at? Oh, God damn it.
I think it's
A justice boner?
Yep.
a big boner.
Fast kind of boner.
Hey.
It has to be coupled with a... Wait, shit.
Oh no.
It has to be coupled with a...
I really hope the first one gets into a blooper reel, though.
Now go forth into the fray. And if war fails us, bring She doesn't even make it through the word justice as the entire mountainside is rocked by a gigantic explosion.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Felix is kind of tapping his foot now.
The room has gone dark. I am under the impression that many of you can see regardless.
Yeah, I do have dark vision, Dave. 60 feet.
Yeah,
At least 60 feet in every... I think it's every direction, too.
Well, it's whatever... No, it's not every direction. It's whatever direction you're looking in.
Well, sure. So when I look there, it's there. I just want him to know that it's like every direction I can see.
It's dim light.
Dim light.
Pregnard is sparkling it up with his shocking grasp sparkle fingers.
Yep. Hedrick needs his glow sticks.
Mm-hmm. Something tells me that wasn't good.
Does she need any more avatars?
The room is illuminated as Lady Valon herself pulls a sword from a scabbard on her hip. If you thought the Holy Avenger, the sword of Joseph the Just, glowed, who doggy have you seen nothing yet? This blade of essentially pure light illuminates everything around. Well, what are you waiting for? Let's go!
Jarrell has his sword back, right?
Yes.
Running. Don't know where.
All right, so you guys are running towards where? The outside?
Well, we're following Valon, like wherever the fuck she goes. Let's go.
She's like pointing with the sword that way.
Yep, going that way.
Let's go.
Absolutely.
We're going.
Charging ahead.
Valon herself will be walking confidently from the back, but many of you also charge out front. As you reach the doors, the horror of what is outside is conveyed upon you as black inky tendrils weaving through the air are striking down angels flying, just in flight. The forces that were defending the citadel are being defeated, and being defeated rapidly. Some sort of large cloud is choking up from maybe a quarter mile behind the lines. A column of dark black smoke reaching towards what would be the starry heavens.
Okay, yeah, maybe it's time for Plan B.
And what, pray tell, is that?
Okay. And I look. Is Valon kind of looking on in horror? Is Zero recalculating the odds of success at this point?
At this point, Lady Valon reaches the door. Her eyes go wide for just a moment. Oh. She looks to you. It seems the time's come a little quicker than we thought. War won't do it. Bring us justice in this life or the next. And Valon, just from almost nowhere, sprouts the biggest, brightest, most angelic wings you ever thought possible out of her back, launches up at like a 45-degree angle, barreling straight for whatever that cloud of smoke is.
Okay, well, we can't do that. Huddle up, group.
Jarrell's like half paying attention, watching.
Pregnard gets uncomfortably close to Felix.
That's fine. Okay. So I had a nice little chat with Dr. Hines not long ago, and I look, because he's still with us, right?
Yep, he's still there, and Zero is no longer wearing the cloak, and his armored lab coat is just, flopping in the wind as it does. Because of course there's wind now. It's a dramatic time.
As I was instructed by Dr. Heitz, I'm going to be as vague as possible as I describe this plan to everybody, because unfortunately, if we talk about specifics, it might not work ever at all. But we had an idea, and it involves the liquid that shall not be named that Boris has in their possession.
And he's just frantically making the cut it off gesture at his neck.
I don't know how else to indicate that we need to use it without calling it out.
Then we stop indicating and we start using. Do you see what's going on out there?
Okay. This is going to be weird, and you have to trust me. And if it doesn't work, well, we can figure out another plan. But if it does work, Felix kind of trails off. You can kind of see he stares off for a second. Well, I might not be here when you get back.
Where are you gonna go?
I can't tell you. I just have to show you. And I reach into without even asking, into Boris's pockets to try to find the not liquid time.
Mhm.
Yes, Boris, you have your hand in the air.
Are you looking specifically for the flask that you remember it being in last time?
I'm looking for whatever you kept it in. Yes, whatever the last thing I remember you keeping it in was. Boris, you know what I'm talking about. Please, I can't explain. I just have to do it. We have to do it now.
It's in the fishbowl, isn't it?
She's smiling.
So, if you're looking for the flask, yeah, you pull it out, but it's empty.
Oh no! And I look, and as soon as I pull out the empty flask, I'm like, "What did you do?"
What is going on?
Boris reaches into another pocket and then pulls out her hands and says, well, Chuck needed a water change and I didn't have anything else. And kind of holds out the fishbowl.
Time fish.
Dave,
What
if you
does
would
this
allow
fish
me,
look like right now?
I was gonna say, Dave, if you would allow me the privilege of just taking the reins here real quick.
Okay, the only thing I want to add in is at this exact moment, every angel simultaneously drops dead.
Okay, well, there's no time to explain, and I say, Dr. Hines, now. And he will take.
Wait, explain the fish. I want to know what the fish looks like.
Hello, audience. It is me, your DM for the next few minutes, Fran. Dr. Hines grabs the fish out of the fishbowl, swallows it whole, takes one of the many clocks that Felix gave him, dips it in the liquid time, somehow has the golden hammer that was used for the anvil, and then just smashes the clock. And for all of you, everything goes white.
Like a newly dropped blanket of snow.
Like
I
if
guess
you
we'll have
walked
to find
into an
out.
ice cream sundae.
I guess
The
we'll
color
have
that goldfish turns if it's been dead in a bowl for a while.
I guess we'll have to find out next time on the Hapless Heroes podcast.
Oh, DM change. What's up, bitches?
And I think that if my math serves us correct, this will be the last episode that we'll be releasing before the new year. As we take our little holiday break.
See you next year.
Don't worry, players. We are going to be recording in a couple weeks, but for the rest of you, we'll see you at the start of 2022, and I will be taking the reins into as we see what the hell this backup plan really is. But Dave, go ahead for the last time for this story arc. Why don't you take us out of this one? Thank you for that.
I got us into this mess, and I'm going to walk us back out of that. If you like us, folks, we can be found on the internet against our better judgment. We're in such places as, Facebook. Search for the Hapless Heroes podcast. Reddit/r/Hapless Heroes. We are also on Facebook and the Gram at Hapless Heroes. All of those places have some sort of sticky post, though. It'll take you to the place you really want to be, our Discord server. That's the center of our internet presence, the crown jewel, if you would. And that's really where we would love to interact with you on a daily basis, because it's the best place to interact with us. We're growing a wonderful D&D and like-minded folks community. We would love it if you'd join us. So please, when you hear this, stop on over.
Yeah,
get on Discord.
And I should say, if you don't actually have any social media at all, we actually put the link to the Discord server in the show notes for each episode as well.
Even better. Now, if you really like us, you could leave us a 5-star review on the podcast service of your choice. Or failing that, if your podcast service doesn't allow you to leave reviews of stars or words or some combination, we also have a channel in that Discord we were just talking about. It's called 5 Stars. You can leave us a review in there. Now, if we see it, we're going to read it. We're not just going to read it like to ourselves in the silence of our minds and souls, though. No. We will read it on air so that we can recognize you as the 5-star human that you are.
Speaking of 5-star humans, Red Smoke writes to us. Now, Red Smoke is one of our Patreon supporters, and she says that after starting a massive binge of multiple D&D podcasts at the start of COVID, this podcast still remains the favorite. I can't count how many times I've laughed with the table and side-chuckled with the exasperation of the DMs as the team makes choices only their characters would. Love all of you, and thank you so much for keeping it quality. Red Smoke, thank you so much for those kind words.
5 stars.
You're a
Thanks,
5-star human. You keep on being a quality human.
Now,
Do we have any 1-star reviews to read yet?
None yet?
no, that's how I know we haven't made it. You haven't made it till you get haters.
We need to make the channel.
The haters wouldn't have made it this far.
We need to make the Discord channel.
The haters wouldn't even made it far enough to hear us advertising our Discord channel.
Yeah.
Well,
No, if we wind up getting that, we should name that channel the Play a Haters Ball.
Yeah, make it. Because here's the thing. I feel like the real hater mentality would be to just listen to the most recent episode and judge it wholly on that.
Not only that, join our Discord, even if you hate us.
Yeah.
Even if you
We've got a channel just for you.
Yeah.
You can tell us how bad we are.
You take
You will
it too
be
hard,
relegated to that channel and that channel only.
I challenge you to hate me more than I already hate myself.
Ow.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
no, I don't
I'll keep
actually
those
want
things
to.
quiet.
I
Did
don't
I just
actually want to
say
swing
that out
the
loud?
What else can they do if they really like us, Dave?
Now, if you really, really like us, you could donate to our Patreon, patreon.com/haplessheroes. We have a variety of reward tiers, but, you can go look there at your leisure and find the reward that works for you. But what we want to say is a huge thank you to all of our Patreon supporters for continuing to support this podcast and keep us independent, ad-free, sponsor-free, and just creating content directly for you, our listening audience, with no ads, no mid-roll, none of that kind of crap, because you don't want to break your immersion, and we don't want to break your immersion.
Well, as I said, we do a plenty good job of breaking immersion.
Not like
on
that.
our own. Yeah.
Yeah, but
when
not that
we do
way.
it, it's
We do it our way.
When we do it, it's classy.
Yeah,
but just keep it coming so we don't have to do any sort of product placements or anything.
Yeah, because I don't want to have to go plugging the new Coke or something like that.
Like shredded wheat.
It's orange flavored now.
Oh my God! Stop. Yeah. He just said we don't want to do that.
So, but yeah, you our Patreon donors have kept us ad free, and it covers all of our hosting costs, our equipment, especially as we try to lean harder into this remote recording and trying to take it to the next level for you guys. Yeah, you're keeping us running, and we couldn't do it without you. So, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you.
Our deepest gratitude.
Thank you.
And if you like us right now, you like us, Sally Field, and the whole deal, load an episode of our podcast onto the device of your choice and visit a cemetery and choose the gravestone of one of your deceased loved ones, or just pick one randomly if you don't know where that is, and leave our a podcast playing for the dead.
It's morbid.
Yeah, not to mention, I feel like I should treat my deceased loved ones better than that.
Yeah.
No, that's great. That's not like
it is.
desecrating
It
a cemetery at all. That's fun. That's a good time. For
It's
everybody.
People will eventually visit.
Kissing humor, but
People eventually visit the cemetery, so it will be for living people too.
And I don't know if a campaign that centers mostly around the undead, like uprising, really should be.
That's a good.
Yes, friend. Now you're catching on, friend.
If I find a fortune teller and I have her conduct a seance to get in touch with my loved ones, and then I just place the phone on the table and listen that way.
Ooh.
That's a good one too.
Summon my deceased grandparents to ask them if it smells like updog in here.
Oh my god.
All right.
We're all going to hell.
Yeah, we are, and I'm gonna give hell the names of everyone who's going there. Starting on my left with Pregnar, played by Zach.
Goodbye.
To his left, we have Hedrick the Entertainer, played by Phil.
It's the end of the world, and I do not feel fine.
To his left, we have Boris the Butcher, played by Nicole.
Goldfish.
To her left, we have Lord and Captain Quinn Southwind, played by Mike.
I've never been surrounded by so many dead angels.
To his left, we have Lord Jarrell, Valen's Avatar of Justice, played by John.
Until next time.
To his left, we have Hoblet the Smasher, played by James.
At least if I go down, it looks like I'm going down smashing.
And to his left, transitioning out of his role of player and back into the DM seat, we have the fabulous Felix Fizzlebottom, played by Francesco.
Oh, I have a plan.
If that ain't ominous as hell. Well, folks, my name is Dave. I've been your host and Dungeon Master, and I'm so glad to be out from this side of the screen and onto the other one, because I cannot wait to see what Francesco has planned for us next week on The Hapless Heroes. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.